We're videotaping this for the network. This must be at least ABC Network, I'm sure. NBC, all of them here. Well, I want a very large honorarium in advance. All right. We're getting up close to 4. Let's take a quick call quickly here, shall we? This is Gilbert Holloway with you. Hello.
Hello.
Hello there. What's your first name?
My name is Agnes.
What's your problem, Agnes?
My husband and I have been expecting some financial assistance for about 8 months. Coming anytime soon?
This is somehow being discussed and being negotiated at the present time. You should hear about this within 3 weeks, is my impression, my dear. Or maybe less, but something like that. And do you have an attorney representing you in this matter?
Yes.
Well, there's also an attorney against you. There's the old problem. But my impression is you should be able to get the greater part of this, and some of it should come to you, I would say, by August, maybe sooner, and the rest of it by the rest of this year. I would think you should get from 80 to 100% of what you are requesting or asking here. I think it will come. And, of course, some of it right away would be very helpful, wouldn't it? There's been some kind of unseemly delay here. I'm believing God for you, and that you will get some response on this within, I would say, 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks at the most, and the rest of it by the rest of the year. This is Gilbert Holloway, wishing you success in this matter, and believing God for you. Thank you, my dear. Bless you. Dear friends, we're going to break in just a little while, in about 50 seconds, for the 4 o'clock news. CBS, I believe, are we, my dear? No, this is NBC. Okay, all right. You got me mixed up there, Bob. Anyway, it's all Bob's fault. No. Anyway, dear friends, we're going to have a great hour ahead. It's my last hour with you this season. I'm Gilbert Holloway in the Spirit, and I want you to call in at 262-5400, and we're going to have a great hour together after the news. And it's been a pleasure to be with you all this week, dear friends. I'll miss you, but I'll be back. I'm only going away for a time. I'm going to bless my dear wife and help her, and I'll be back. We're on videotape here, and I'll have my toupee when I come back, but I'll see to that. Anyway, dear friends, this is KZIA Talk Radio Albuquerque, AM 1580. I'm Gilbert Holloway, and NBC News Time is next at 4 o'clock in 1 moment.
1 degrees in Albuquerque. 6 of the 7 Albuquerque Board of Education members say they want a weekend retreat open to the public in accordance with the State Open Meetings Act. New Mexico Attorney General Hal Stratton says the training session planned for June 26 through the 28th in Durango, Colorado, legally should be open. The meeting initially was going to be closed, but the 6 board members say they have changed their minds. The president of the Albuquerque Board of Education, Ira Robinson, had contended the retreat can be closed according to an example used by former Attorney General Paul Barticky in interpreting the State Open Meetings Act. A woman has received a suspended 3-year prison sentence after pleading no contest to wounding 2 New Mexico Human Service Department employees with a knife during a court hearing last year. 44-year-old Delfina Beta pleaded no contest to 2 counts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Ms. Beta had been in jail since March 12th of 1986 when she was arrested for stabbing a social worker and a lawyer during a custody hearing for her 3-year-old daughter. A Santa Fe official says the city is not interested in a proposal to build a regional airport that would serve Santa Fe, Espanola, and Los Alamos. Santa Fe city manager Tom Baca says that the city would prefer to expand its existing airport. Espanola Mayor Richie Lucetto proposed the regional airport to Governor Gary Carruthers, who was in Espanola for a day-long series of meetings. State Land Commissioner Bill Humphreys says a judge has ruled in favor of New Mexico in a long-running dispute with the federal government over state land taken when White Sands Missile Range was created. He said that the land office anticipates getting final settlement within 30 to 60 days. The settlement would resolve the state land office's 8-year-old lawsuit against the federal government. And finally, Attorney Bill Tryon says one of 3 Albuquerque police officers who was to be disciplined after a black-painted rose was sent to a legislator will retire Friday. 2 other officers have proposed giving up vacation time to fulfill their proposed suspensions. Here's a look at tonight's weather. Calls for mostly fair skies with the lows ranging from 50 degrees in the valley to 55 degrees in the heights. It'll be sunny for tomorrow, too, with a high in the lower 90s. At this hour, winds are out of the south at 9 miles an hour. The pressure is falling from 30.9. The humidity is at 14%. Mostly sunny skies in Albuquerque. The temperature is 91 degrees. Stay tuned. We have more of the Dr. Gilbert Holloway Talk Show coming up right after this.
We're back. I'm Gilbert Holloway, my final hour this season with you, dear friends. So get on that phone, because to reach me starting tomorrow, you've got to call or write or come down to Deming, New Mexico, which is the Riviera of New Mexico, a beautiful place. Barbara is just on the air. Hollywood is calling. She's had 3 or 4 offers already and several proposals. Oh, boy, Barbara V is just going to town here. Well, we're having a little fun this afternoon. A young man out here. Can you hear me out there? Nadia, he hears me. Okay, he says he's got some problem. Oh, he's got a little bit, you see. You know, your brother out there, he came in off the street. He works for a company, a coffee company, that's right. Anyway, and I told him not to drink it, but work it's okay. Just so you, no, I don't want to sound too fanatical. You know, the Mormons don't drink coffee, and I don't drink coffee, but that's all right. It's not like booze and so on. Anyway, brother, you have a tendency to spread yourself a little bit too thin, but you have a lot, very good vigor, and someday you're going to get very much interested in the ministry of healing. There's a potential healing force for this young man out there. So take care of yourself and live clean, because you'll be able to help a lot of people someday, as I have been endeavoring to do for a very long time. Well, anyway, I'm Gilbert Holloway. The board is full, but I'm going to work fast for you, so call 262-5400. And if I stumble, Barbara will pick it up here, because Barbara's on her way to Hollywood. Oh, she's thrilled about this. And by this fellow Bob here, studio cameraman, they get $3,000 a week. That should take care of you fairly well.
I'm ready.
Is that all right?
I'm ready.
He accepts it. He accepts a contract of $3,000 a week, he says, as a studio cameraman. Well, all right. Let's take some calls here. I'm in a jocular happy mood today, but we have to. If we don't be entertaining here, you'll turn on that miserable tube, and that will lead to your ultimate degradation. You've got to stay with radio. But in all sincerity, I want to be helpful to you, dear friends, and I'm going to punch up calls here. When you come on the line with me, give your first name, and now state your problem, or ask me a question, or say, Brother Holloway, will you tell me something about myself, or would you want me to send me to some distant place? I'll go there in the spirit. I have the ability to project my consciousness and be aware of events and people at a distance in space or time. Hello, I'm Gilbert Holloway with you. Are you there?
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Yes, thank you. What's your first name?
My name's Dean.
Dean, what can I do for you?
I want to know if I'm going to lose my job within the next few weeks or months.
What do you do, Dean?
I work in the grocery business.
Uh-huh. Do you sell? Do you travel, or you work in a store?
In a store.
And we're not revealing where you are and so on. Well, the grocery business, like the undertaking business, will never go away. But are you an assistant manager, something like that?
Yes.
I understand. Well, Albuquerque is going to continue to grow. Therefore, there are going to be an awful lot of people eating here. I do notice, however, that the stores change the name. Safeway goes out one place, somebody else comes in, and so on. But in terms of what you, Dean, as I sense you, in the next 4 months, you may make a change. But for instance, supposing something were to happen to your present position through either rivalry or whatever, or bad vibes and so on, I would see a change for you. But you would definitely go into something similar if you want to. Would you like to progress and become, say, someday the manager of a store of this nature?
Yes.
That's within your purview or your desire. All right. I see constructive change in 4 months for you, either where you are or in another organization. So stay positive, deliver the goods, as they say. Don't get involved in negative personal innuendos and so on. Keep your conscience positive and stay prayed up and tuned up, and I believe you'll have a good result. That's going to be July, August, September, October. By the 1st of November or sooner, I see a satisfactory change for you. Also, keep improving yourself in terms of your aptitude, your knowledge, etc., your contacts. I think you'll do well. And as I'm in touch with you today in this way, I'm asking the divine power to bless you, prosper you, and to lead and guide you, because the guidance of the Holy Spirit is the very best that there is. Thank you, my friend. Nice to talk to you today. All right, let's take another call here quickly. I'm Gilbert Holloway with you. Hello?
Hello.
Hello there. What's your first name?
My name is Nita, and Dr. Holloway, I've been a listener of yours for a long, long time.
Where did
Can you tell me something about a sister of mine? Her name is Barbara, and she's 44 years old.
All right, and where is she?
The last time I saw her was in Asheville, North Carolina.
How long ago was that?
Oh, dear. About 25 years.
My heaven. Do you have knowledge that she's alive?
No, I don't.
You know, I'm not a medium. There's a gift described in the Bible as a gift of discerning the spirits. I don't have that gift, although I know some people who do. In other words, supposing if your sister had passed away and were in the invisible, spiritual, etheric world, there are those who could contact her. You understand me? Now, which is not my gift. However, let me see what I can. But that's a long time, isn't it? Has no member of your family been in touch with her at all?
A brother did.
How long ago?
Well, it's been a few years.
Yeah. Well, that's strange, isn't it? Well, I'll tell you what. Let me give you my first impression. Your sister Barbara got involved in some connections or activities, something she was not too proud of. Therefore, she hid this from her family. You see, she voluntarily kind of stepped out of sight. Also, too, she was under a great deal of emotional pressure, which may have affected her normal equilibrium as a person. She's a dear person, and this has bothered all these years. It's worried you, has it not? Because it's your sister, and you wondered what may have happened to her. Now, I'll tell you this. I think she's still alive. I can't prove this, or that she's not passed away, but I don't feel that. See, I believe she's alive. If you were to send me as a detective, which I'm not, except maybe psychically, to find her, I would find her, I believe, somewhere in North Florida. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Have you ever been there?
No.
Southern Georgia, North Florida, into that area, I believe, is where she went. I believe she is married, and possibly remarried, and living an unusual life in some way. She is idiosyncratic. That's she's a rather unusual person, but will you ever see her again? I don't know. I tell you what's the best chance is that some friend, some member of the family will, as we say, stumble upon her, meet her, and may bring back to her conscience again the importance of her family. If you're going to hear from her, I would see by the summer of '88. If you don't hear from or about her by that time, you probably won't. I wish you well, my dear. Thank you for calling.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. All right, I'm Gilbert Holloway. The number to call is 262-5400. We're on television today. Here's Bob, our engineer, has got his video camera here, and I'm on videotape, and these are available. Bob, what's your last name again?
Henry.
Bob Henry. He's a crackerjack fellow here, and you talk to him, maybe give you a copy for something. I don't know. We're not commercializing this, but I'm kidding Bob a little bit. He's a good scout here, and I don't know whether I'm going to make it. Hollywood maybe. Barbara's already been. She's Barbara. I think Barbara fainted. No, I don't. She's in there somewhere. Okay, let's go right on with our calls here. Hello there. This is Gilbert Holloway at your service. Are you there?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Dr. Holloway. We enjoy your program very much, and I just have one quick question.
All right, go right ahead.
My name is Bill, and I would like to know if I'm going to take a trip to San Francisco. I bought the tickets for July 10th, returning the 13th. You knowing that, would that induce you to answer in the affirmative?
I think it's all right. Yes, I do.
Oh, great.
You know, I'm a graduate of Stanford University, and I know that area very well there. I entered Stanford 55 years ago. That's a good while, isn't it? But anyway, and I've been back many, many times. I've done very well on radio, KZIA Radio and television there, and so on and so on. And yet, I'll tell you this, a kind of a shadow hangs over that area. California, somewhere along the coast, is overdue for a massive quake. You've heard that before, haven't you? And it's true. I love California. Lived there many years. The ashes of my beloved parents are on a hillside in Redondo Beach. I have 2 sons and their families there, and so on. And yet, curious enough, I've not been in California for over a year. I'm awaiting an invitation to go there, probably. But it's okay for you. But I'll tell you, I'll say this to you, brother, as I've said to other people: don't go to live in California or stay there permanently unless the Holy Spirit, if I may say this in some way, takes you by the scruff of the neck and sends you there. You see what I'm saying, brother? You're going to go there 3 or 4 days. Go ahead. It's all right.
Visiting my daughter.
Yes.
Thank you. I feel good.
All right. So I appreciate your friendship. Let me hear from you.
Thank you.
All right, sir.
Bye-bye.
Well, let's go right on here. We got a lot more calls to cover today, and it's 262-5400, 262-5400. Bill is here, Bob Henry, rather, and he is photographing me, and I don't know. I somehow don't look as young or as pretty as I would want to. What can I do about that? Huh? I don't know. You that fellow, that handsome yellow about the full head. Brother, are you wearing a wig? No, you haven't got a wig. It's his own hair, isn't it? Yeah, you lucky stiff. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Barbara here. Barbara wears a wig. Are you wearing a wig? No, she doesn't hear me. She's busy there. As for you, Bob, look at that nice head of hair. Oh, boy.
It's receded a little bit.
You know what you look like? You look like a Princeton man.
Princeton?
That's right. Ever been there?
I don't think so.
Where'd you go to school, Bob?
You mean here in high school?
Well, where?
Here at Sandia High.
Yeah, I see. Did you go on to college anywhere?
Nope, no college.
No
Get
college.
this mic on?
Yeah,
Oh.
we're all there.
It's on. There it is.
You should go on to Princeton, you see.
Princeton.
Of course,
Yeah,
of course
get my knowledge.
I'll tell you, there's really only one university in the United States. Harvard is number 2. Number 1 is Stanford, see.
Stanford.
You know, that's argumentative. That's just a little fun. Oh, let's go back to work here. Where am I? Oh, Barbara in there. Barbara, she's talking to these Hollywood scouts and so on. Oh, let's take a break, and we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Celebrate Father's Day this weekend, June 20th and 21st at El Vado Lake, and take Dad fishing or on a boat cruise on the lake Saturday morning, a hayride Saturday evening, a barbecue Saturday and Sunday at noon, and a delicious pancake.
Be a part of this conversation. Call Talk Radio KZIA at 262-5400. You can be a part of this talk now by calling 262-5400. Dial now, 262-5400.
I'm back. Here we are. I'm Gilbert Holloway. We're being videotaped today, and oh my, this is a big day. This is a big one. And you know, speaking of Father's Day, Mom, I want to claim something. First of all, I'm one of the outstanding fathers of this area. I have 4 children. I have 7 grandchildren, and now I really want to brag. I have a great-grandson, and his name is Eon. Eon Walker Good. He's a little fella. He's a little rascal. He's a lovely little child. And he's just my wife, June, is just crazy about him. She can't wait to get to Deming tonight to see our great-grandson. But anyway, you know, where would you girls be without us fathers? Now, there's a good question. Isn't that right, you see? We fathers, I don't know what we do. I don't know. We're all basically ruled, Bob, by the controlling matriarchy. Do you know that? Yeah. We fathers preen ourselves and we talk big, but it's the women that really run the show. Isn't that true? I am thoroughly domesticated. I'm a marital veteran of many, many years, and then a happy one, and I do a great deal of counseling. So you fathers out, let's stick together. And I belong to husband union. You see, we husbands can do no wrong. I don't know about that either, but anyway. And I'm going to find Barbara a husband very soon. She didn't hear that today, but she'll get after me later, and I say that. But let's go on now. I'm counseling this remaining half hour. I'll make a final announcement in a few minutes, but we're on videotape here, and he's right close in my heaven. He shows every wrinkle in my face. I don't know what to do about that, Bob. I should have worn my face mask today and my toupee and a few other things. False eyebrows, and I don't know what else. Well, I don't know. That's not my stuff, you know. This fellow out here, this friend of mine outside, he's got an $18 haircut, you know, the kind of shapes around the ears and so on. I don't know. I sit down.
Sit on the left side of the couch. We'll get him.
Yeah, I see. There you are. Put him on. I don't need these fancy hairdos. Right? For I have nothing to work with anyway. They just put a bowl in my head and trim around it, and that should cost about $1. But anyway, I don't know. All right, let's come right back to our calls here. I'm Gilbert Holloway with you. Hello. Are you there? Are you there? Speak up. Hello? I guess...
Dr. Holloway?
Yeah, there you go. Attaboy.
Okay.
What's your first name?
Robert, and I'd like to know about my wife.
Your wife. Is your wife the most beautiful woman in the world?
Yes.
She is. I caught him that one, didn't I? All right, let's get serious now, my friend. What is your name once more?
Robert.
Oh, there, I've got you. I speak right out, you see. Now, your wife's first name?
Patricia.
Is she listening?
I doubt it. I don't think so.
Okay. Let me tell you something, first of all, just straight out, and then you can ask a further question about her. Your wife is very sentimental, very sensitive, and you know she's very sensitive to your thoughts, and sometimes at a distance. She probably, you know, your wife is sensitive enough to realize that we're tuning in on her right now, and there's a psychic contact here, and of course, a very pleasant one. I'm asking God, the power of Spirit, to bless your dear wife and to help you. Now, you're not emotionally exactly the same, but you know, new marriages ever are. That's why there's so many divorces these days. The first little spat, the first little differ, they run home to mama and that sort of thing. You and your wife are working out a few difficulties here, but my advice to you is to be very patient, because I sense and I prophesy that in not more than 5 weeks, and possibly less, that you and your wife are going to reach a deeper understanding. She in many ways is a very exceptional woman. Sure, she's had her problems. Who hasn't in this world? But still, if you were to divorce her and marry somebody else, you would not have as good a woman as you do today. Now, I want you to think about that very deeply. Do you have a child in this marriage? Hello?
No.
Pardon me?
Children.
You do? Two children. I see. Speak clear. The transmission is not too clear here. All right. Now, what do you want to ask about your? Is there a difficulty here that you need counseling about? Go ahead if you want to.
Yes.
I will not embarrass you.
Location, or where is she at?
What's that now?
Location, or could you tell me how is she doing, or where she at, or what?
I don't understand you. I don't know exactly what the problem is here. Speak
her
slowly.
location, or where is she at, or how's she doing?
Oh, you don't know where she is right now? Uh-huh. You'll hear from her or about her within 3 days or less, as I sense this. And did she go away angry? Is she trying to get a little bit of space, you might say? Something here to go off and cool off a little bit, something like that?
Oh, it's been 2 years, really.
Oh, my. Oh, my. You know, you remind me of a man that came to one of my meetings about a week ago. Were you that person that came to my meeting and we talked about the wife in Texas?
No, haven't been
You're
there.
not the same person. Anyway, this is too bad. I have a feeling that your wife's been confused. Someone with a strong will must have prevailed upon her to get her to change her location, something like that. You'll hear from or about her soon, and I'll be very patient. Let me ask, in counseling, and I've done a great deal of this, there's always one very important question. I'm going to ask you right now. Do you still love your wife?
Yes.
Do you want to be back with her under right circumstances?
If it would be in the same situation when she left, yes.
I think, are the children with you or are they with her?
I have my kids.
You have them here. I see. You know, it's strange that a woman, in other words, she walked away from her children, has been gone for 2 years. Is that what you're saying? Is that right?
Yes.
Uh-huh. That shows some kind of very great duress or some very great kind of pressure here and so on. And your wife is under the influence of some other person that's quite strong and so on, in a sense, as we used to say as kids, bamboozling her or fooling her in some way. Now, I would pray a lot about this. Practice your faith. Let's believe God that she will contact you and that there's some way, because if I were counseling your wife, you know what I would say to her? Honey, if you don't go back to your husband and your children, you're not going to find any real happiness. Whatever kind of a will-o'-the-wisp has led you out of the field as you are now, nothing really good is going to come from that. And you need to be forgiven. You need to pray. You need to get right with God in this matter. Go back and see if you cannot find some basis of understanding with your husband and your kids. Because if you don't, you will regret it, my lady. And I feel this. And then the same thing in your heart now. If she does come back, make it easy for her. Don't just reproach her and so on. If you love your wife, make it possible for her to come back, as the Orientals say, to save face at least in some degree, and to get back together with you. It is possible, my friend. Let me put it this way to you. If this does not work out by the end of this year, then I would say probably there's very little chance of it. But that's still quite a bit of space yet. And let's believe, you see, that this is possible, because your wife is a dear person, and you have lovely children there, and I hope and pray that you may get together again. If I could help in some way, I'd be very glad to do so. I wish you well, sir. Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you. All right, dear friends, the number to call is 262-5400, 262-5400. I'm going to take a moment before my next call, before the news break, to announce again that at 6 o'clock, my dear wife June and I are leaving for Deming, New Mexico, where I'll be for several weeks there. I'm sorry that I cannot be longer in the program. I'll come back because I leave here in good spirit and very friendly with the management here. But my wife has to get lower. I have to get her out of this altitude. I'm going to go down to 1,000 feet tonight, because of a heart problem that she has. We'll be in Deming, New Mexico, where I have a lovely 120-acre property there. I invite you to come and see us. If you'd like to counsel with me by phone or simply ask about what we're doing, the number to call, write this down, is 546-9410. That's in Deming, 546-9410. We're having public meetings in the Christ-like community just outside of Deming on Sundays at 10:45 in the morning, and we're having convention seminars there on July 10th, 11th, and 12th. You're cordially invited, and again in August on the 14th, 15th, and 16th in August, and we invite you to come and see us. I have a lovely complex there. I have a mobile park, furnished apartments, furnished mobiles, and also campground. And I invite you to write to us for full information, and just write at this address, Dr. Gilbert Holloway. That's Star Route number 2, Hatch Road, Deming, New Mexico 88030, or the number to call again is 546-9410. Now, in the last half hour today, I'm going to do a lot of counseling. I invite you to call in. The number to call for counsel here is 262-5400, and I'll be very glad to help you in every way that I can. We're videotaping here. Bob Henry is here. He's a master cameraman here. Hollywood is calling him, and also to Barbara's had a couple of Hollywood calls today, and I don't know, they're going to steal her away, maybe, possibly so. I'm Gilbert Holloway with you, dear friend. This is KZIA Talk Radio, Albuquerque, and the Mutual broadcast is up now with the 4:30 news. We invite you to stay tuned for the last half hour, and I thank you.
Oliver North says only in...
Your thoughts and your ideas are always welcome right here on Talk Radio. It's the place where you'll hear one-of-a-kind, two-way conversations filled with information and provocative ideas. Talk Radio is entertainment in its purest form.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Ian Bliss, and yes, you are listening to the Psychic Forum. Well, almost. We just started, so you will be listening to the Psychic Forum. Anyway, Bob Henry's in here with me, and he's got a videotape.
That's right.
And it's driving me crazy.
You like it?
Yeah, I really do.
Isn't that interesting? You
Yeah.
can be on TV. Let's see if Barbara can turn up this microphone. Well, like, I can be the announcer of the airways. No, I'm just kidding, Barbara. Having a great time here. There's Ian Bliss, and we're going to do some videotaping today.
Yeah, it's making me nervous.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Ian,
Now
they'll
that I
never
can
know
see
on
this
camera.
thing, yeah.
You know, they say that television adds at least 10 pounds. Whoops.
Thanks a heap,
Just
creep.
joking. Just joking.
I'll tell you what, Bob Henry's a really great guy, but sometimes he's a real creep.
I get on
You
your
know?
nerves. I do that just to have a little fun.
Yeah.
And then, keep you in. So what's your topic for today?
Oh, it's not really a topic. We do the Psychic
The same
Forum.
thing,
People call in, and I'm going to be answering questions on anything they'd like to know. Anything regarding what happened to them, how they can change things. So I want to hear from you, 262-5400. Anyway, it's a beautiful day, as usual, and I'm going to go right to the phones.
There you go.
Hi, you're on the air.
Hi.
Hi.
I talked to you yesterday about my boyfriend, and when he was coming back from being out of town, and then last night I called his roommate's little sister, and he answered the phone, and I was really shocked, and I was wondering if maybe you could tell me why he's back or what's going on, or...
I think he's just back temporarily, okay? And there seems to be some things he's trying to work out right now, so I wouldn't really worry about it.
Okay. Now, we're planning on having, like, a party this weekend. Is he going to come, or...?
I think he's going to have to get back.
Okay. Because I was really shocked when he answered the phone. I was all...
Yeah, I'd be shocked, too.
I mean, I really wasn't expecting him or anything. But, so, other than that, the situation's still pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Okay, and also, before he left, we were talking about a friend of mine, and he knows about the situation she was with, and I was saying, well, she has to go to court Thursday, and he's, oh, really? I have to go to court, too. But he didn't tell me what it was about. Now, was this something that's causing problems now and why he's back, or?
Yeah, that's pretty much why he is back. He's got something to take care of. He's not really hiding things from you, okay? But there's some things he doesn't want to deal with right at the moment, and if he deals with them with you, then he's got to deal with them with himself, you know?
Okay, so you still think I'll be hearing from him soon?
Yep.
Okay. I think that just about answers everything. Now, one question that I did have is you said that you saw an opportunity coming up where he'd probably stay in Arizona.
Right.
Before he left, he had a meeting or something with the Institute of Phoenix that's here in Albuquerque.
Uh-huh.
And he was going to go to school there or something. Now, when we first started seeing each other, he was going to move to Arizona, I guess, and then all of a sudden he changed his plans and he was staying here. What does that have to do with or whatever?
That doesn't have anything to do with it.
But is that still part of the picture? Is there still a chance that he might stay here, or that he is definitely going, or?
I think that he's definitely going back to work some things out, but I do think he's going to be here. Do you understand? I don't see him staying there.
Okay. I think I've got it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for calling. Bye-bye. KZIA, you're on the air.
Hello, Ian.
Hi.
Hi. Listen, I talked to you a little bit about this, but not about our home. But a new problem has arisen. We thought that our house had not sold. They told us that, the realtor told us that the people had not qualified.
Uh-huh.
So we went ahead and we put in a lot of money in getting our house fixed up so that we could move back into it.
Uh-huh.
Now they tell us that, yeah, it did sell. And that it's too bad that we put all this money into it. And that, but we honestly thought they had not qualified. That's what they had told us.
Sue.
The realtor.
Yep.
And so, but you told me that you saw us back in our home and everything would be harmonious and okay, you know?
Right. I told you that they were not going to qualify on this thing also, okay? What the realtor's doing now, I think needs to be looked into.
Well, the mortgage company tells us that they never denied the man, that they just, that at that particular point he had not qualified, but that they kept working on it.
Uh-huh.
But that's not what was told to us. We were told that he had not qualified, so we went ahead and made plans to move back into our home, to fix it up, what needed to be fixed up. And I had told you, you know, that we would stay in our home until my husband reached the age of 55.
Right.
And, but now, we'll see a lawyer tomorrow morning at 9.
Yeah, you don't have to sell your house.
But they tell us that we have to, that we already have signed a purchase agreement and all that stuff.
Yeah, well,
It scared me so much that I'm really calling you because I've been praying that God will tell you the real picture, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's really scary. You know, I'm trying to leave it all in the hands of Almighty God and be really brave about it.
Well, that's very nice, but you still have to get out there and you have to consult your lawyer and stuff. I don't see you having to sell your house.
Okay, so you believe it's going to work out all right?
Yep.
Going to bring my mom to live with us.
Right. But you have to immediately get on the people that told you that
well, I did.
The man didn't qualify.
I talked to him today, and I talked with the mortgage company, and they're all saying, well, that they had never said that they had denied him. The realtor's exact words to me was, he has not qualified. And we said, well, sorry, it was nice, you know, dealing with you. I'll move back into my house.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm doing, you know. But it's so scary. You know, we've done a lot to our house now. And they said, well, that's just too bad, you know.
Yeah, well, there's supposed to be certain procedures you go through in closing a house that you guys didn't do yet.
No.
So don't worry about it.
Okay, just see the lawyer.
Yep. I'm serious about this. I mean, when you close, you go to the closing, and everything is finalized. Things haven't even been finalized.
No.
And these idiots are telling you have to sell your house now, so.
And, okay, well, we'll see the lawyer tomorrow, and I continue to pray for you and ask God to guide you and everything and giving you lots of light.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll see you Saturday at your forum.
Oh, yeah, the psychic fair.
Yeah, the psychic fair.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for calling. Bye-bye.
I'm scared.
Well, don't be, okay? Listen, right now what you're doing is you're doing a lot of speculating on the unknowns. Wait until you talk to the lawyer before, you know, just... I know it's easier said than done, but you need not worry about what's going to happen till it happens here, okay?
Yeah, well, you tell me it's not going to happen badly, though. Right?
It's not.
Okay.
Okay?
I need to sleep.
Good.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hi, this is Ian Bliss, and you're on the air.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, hi. Do you think, do you see me buying another home within the near... Oh, no, let me ask you this. Do you think it would be a good idea?
Yeah, I don't really see you doing it.
You think... Okay, I just sold one, okay?
Yeah.
What do you think? I have some funny feelings about buying something right.
Yeah, I think you're going to rent for a while. I do see you getting another home, but it's not going to be, about March of next year.
The interest rates will be better then, huh?
Yeah, they should. I think we talked about this once before. It's pretty cool how the people, the banks and such, get interest rates to start to go up in spring and start falling back down after the fall. The reason for that is that's when everybody moves. Most people that need houses have families, so they don't want to do it during the school year.
Right.
So they make their dollars during the summer.
Manipulation, huh?
Well, you could call it that. It's not supposed to be that way, but it's funny that it does. Just like the gas prices go up every summer.
Right. Well, do you think it's a good idea to buy again or just to forget this business?
I don't think it's a good idea to buy right away, okay? I do see you buying again, but you need to rent or something in between.
What about my job? Do you see any good prospects, either where I am or elsewhere?
I think where you are is going to be pretty good. I see around September promotional situation here, and raise as well.
Ah. The advice is not to hang on for a while?
Yeah.
What about a business? Because I'm thinking of trying my hand at something on my own.
Yeah, you know, I really don't feel real good about that right now. A little down the road, a couple years down the road, but I don't feel real good about you going into business now.
Any travels?
Short trips, but I don't see any journeys, and I don't see any extended vacations either.
Well, okay, all right, I'm out of questions. Do you have any ideas for me?
Well, what you need to do pretty much is take things one day at a time. There's nothing wrong with your job, by the way. And advancement is there. Again, I wouldn't go jumping in and buying anything right now.
You don't see this job dissolving right now?
I sure don't.
Okay. Well, you have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye. Hi, this is Ian Bliss, and you're on the air. Hello?
Oh, Ian?
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions. I talked to you earlier, and you said that I'd be having a job change in October, but it would be within the job that I was doing then.
Right.
And in the meantime, something else came up. It looked like a good job possibility, so I changed jobs.
Okay.
I was wondering if I'm still going to get a job change promotion in October.
Well, you know, we have choice in things. You can lead a horse to water, okay? And if it doesn't drink, then it doesn't get the water. Do you understand what I mean? I feel that you're going to be okay where you are, but I think you should have stayed where you were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how it works out then.
Yeah, make the best of your situation now, but the other situation was pretty much the path or the course you should have taken.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I also have a friend that has some questions. Can she ask them?
Sure.
Hi, Ian.
Hi.
I've talked to you earlier, and I'm going through some problems on a reconsolidation or some loans for my house and also personal loans.
Uh-huh.
And on my house payment and on my house, I have a balloon payment coming up, and I haven't been able to get any satisfaction on that. Am I going through the right channels to do that?
Okay, I think you are, but I'm looking more in terms of commercial, people that do commercial loans, and not necessarily bank, and not necessarily, more like in terms of finance or something here. Finance companies. You're going to have to pay a little more on the interest, but I do see you getting a balloon, but I don't see it through the bank, and I don't see it through mortgage company either.
About my personal loans, I've gotten in quite a ways in debt with some of my credit cards, you know, the good plastic.
Uh-huh.
Am I going to be able to get a whole consolidation loan through this finance company with that too, or should I file bankruptcy and start over?
Okay, can you hang on so I can answer this, because we're going to have to take a short break.
Sure.
Okay? Be with you in just a moment. We'll be right back.
Good afternoon. Gee, that sounds a little loud. I guess I should back off the mic a little bit. Good afternoon. This is Ardie Patton, and welcome to the Patton Program live here on KZIA. That's correct. This is a live, issue-oriented radio talk presentation. And if you're just tuning by, you're playing channel roulette, and you've never heard anything like this before, here's what I want you to do. Pull out the little button on your radio right now and punch it back in, because this is a station that you're going to be using over and over and over again. My telephone number is 262-5400. There are 3 ways to listen to this program. One is to listen to KZIA AM 1580. The other two actually are KZIA FM 102 and FM 95.9. And what we do is we talk about the issues of the day. I like to call this the American way of radio. because it gives you a chance to sound off about the issues of the day and whatever is happening with you and what's on your mind as it relates to what's happening in the news. This is the radio station that listens to you. 262-5400 is my telephone number. This is, I'm very happy to announce this, this is the final short edition of the Patton program. Tomorrow night, we start the long version. Remember when you used to buy the records and on the album it was always the long version? The 45 was the short version? Well, this is the long version. It'll start tomorrow, as a matter of fact. We'll go from 5:15 until 7 o'clock at night, you and me and the telephones. Just you and me and Ma Bell just kicking around the issues of the day. Now, with that, I've given you the way to listen, the way to call. Now let's bring up some subjects, some issues of the day, okay? 262-5400. I have in my hand right here, let me show this to the camera. I have right here a copy of the Constitution of the United States of America. Now, keep in mind that I am going to refer to this later. All right? I am going to refer to Amendment 2 of the Constitution. You might want to just focus right in on Amendment 2 right there by my finger. We are being taped this evening, ladies and gentlemen, so this is for posterity, and we hope for prosperity. Amendment 2 deals with the right to keep and bear arms. Let me just read it to you right now, right off the top, so you know what I'm talking about. Amendment 2 of the first 10 amendments of the Constitution, commonly referred to as the Bill of Rights. Here's the way it reads. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. To keep and bear arms. Now, when the wise men were bearing gifts, they had them in their hands. When the Trojans were bearing gifts, they were bearing them on ropes inside the walls of the city. And when I think about bearing arms, I think about carrying them. Not bear arms, no. Carrying them, having them on your body someplace, on your person. It says right here in the Constitution that we have the right to keep and bear arms. Now, if you haven't heard by now, you haven't been listening to anybody, you've been under a rock somewhere, Bernard Goetz got off. The jury acquitted him of all the counts of attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon and all of that stuff. What's left? Well, they found him guilty of possessing a firearm. This is illegal in the state of New York. And as a matter of fact, in the state of New York, it's a felony. It seems to me that that law is unconstitutional. And if Mr. Bernard Goetz was listening to me right now, I'd say, Bernard, Bernie, buddy, go for him. Take him all the way to the Supreme Court. And if Sandy and the Supremes can't decide that that law in New York is unconstitutional, then we better get some new justices, and fast. What do you think? You see, it is my contention that no state can make a law that usurps the Constitution of the United States of America. Can't do it. Illegal. Do you have a comment? 262-5400 is my telephone number. And how do you feel about the verdict for Bernard Goetz? Do you think justice was done? Or do you think now that this will unleash a whole spate, a surfeit of vigilantism? And maybe, I know that some of you actually think that vigilantism is not such a bad idea. I'd like to hear all sides, and I'd like to hear from you right now. I have lines available. 262-5400 is my telephone number. 262-5400. I say, hooray, Bernard. You socked it to them, baby, and if they mess with you on the weapons charge, take them to the Supreme Court. Now, see, I didn't wear my tie.
Didn't have to.
I didn't comb my hair. I didn't trim the beard, and I didn't get rid of the bags under the eyes. So, John, if you look at this, please, I can look a lot better. 262-5400 is the telephone number. Why don't you take some shots of Skeeterlings, the mighty Skeets in the other room.
All right, we can do that. If you'll stand, we're
doing his job. There he is over there. This is fun, you guys. I mean, I know you can't see what's going on.
You know, he's got a mouth, a lip full of black stuff.
Is that a
he smiles into the camera.
Smokeless tobacco?
Well, I'm not going to let you see yourself there.
I see. All right. 262-5400. Anything that happens to be on your mind. I have another couple of items that I want to throw your way, but I'll defer to the callers right now. Hi, this is Ardie Patton. You're on KZIA.
Hello?
Hello.
About this trial, it looks to me like it's turning around the other way with racism. If he would have not shot him, and they would have beat him up, knocked some of his teeth off, left him laying in blood, which has happened through the years, why, what would they have done? Would they made this big of a goings-on about...
No, it would have been just another mugging.
Yeah. Well,
why do you bring up... Wait, let me ask you a question here. Why do you bring up racism?
That's what they're saying.
That's true. It was brought up in the trial.
They're saying it all over the papers, racism, and I think it's turned around the other way.
Yeah, I don't care what color the guys were. If they were after me with a screwdriver, I might want to defend myself, wouldn't you?
I'm repeating what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whichever way it's wrong to beat anybody up, and it's wrong to shoot anybody, but I was just wondering what would happen. They keep asking. Well, if it had been the other way around, you know, and it would have been a white guy, why, you know, it would have been different, you know. Well, I'm like you, I don't see any difference, but they're making it a difference, and I think that it's the other way around now.
Well, anytime race is involved in any kind of litigation, any kind of trial, anything that's popular, and in some places, if it's not popular, anytime race is involved in any way, manner, shape, or form, it's going to be used by one side or the other as an issue. It always is going to be used.
Well, another thing, he must have been an awful poor shot.
I've had callers say that, too. You know, his only crime was that he was a bad shot.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right, thanks for the call. There's a line for you at 262-5400. 262-5400. Maybe I should start a patent poll. How do you feel about the verdict Bernard got or received from the jurors? Do you think he got the fair shake or not? 262-5400. Hi, this is Ardie Patton. You're on KZIA.
Ardie, I want to talk to you about this this program you have to arm bears.
Yes.
I think you should arm bears because they've already got these big talons and claws and big teeth.
Yeah.
And there's no right to arm bears.
Well, it says so in the Constitution, sir.
Right to arm bears?
To arm bears, and even though they do have the claws and the extra accoutrements you've been talking about in the thick skin,
yeah,
and they come in various colors too, so you see, we can't have any discrimination between brown and black bears or grizzlies either.
Right, but I don't think you should arm bears because they're already armed.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, sir, but I think you're entirely too liberal, and if it was left up to you, the Constitution would no longer exist.
That's true. And about Bernie Getz.
Yes.
My opinion is, I'm not an attorney, I've talked to you before, but I think that what is going to happen is the judge will give him credit for time served on his possession of the illegal weapon in New York City, and let him go on probation.
All right, so on the one hand, you're in favor of the ruling he got so far.
Please deposit 25 cents.
Will you stop butting in? You're a very rude person, very rude computer. Listen, I got your comment. Don't deposit the money, and I'll talk to you later.
Final 10 seconds.
Yeah, you betcha.
Bye.
Bye. 262-5400. Oh, ugly person. Computers talking to me.
The digital voice.
On the phone, digitally. I don't like it. 262-5400 is my telephone number. That's the first vote so far that says, yeah, hooray for Bernard Getz. Hooray for the verdict that he was given. What do you think? 262-5400. I still say that if Rosie, that if they take it to the Supreme Court because he might be convicted of a crime, in New York State it's a crime to keep and bear arms, that's unconstitutional. And if Rosie and the Supremes disagree with that, then I think they ought to step down. 262-5400. Here's the other one I was going to talk with you about tonight. Speaking of stepping down, it seems that there are elements in our society, elements in our group here, folks standing around and sitting around and talking that feel that the chief city attorney, the trial attorney, chief trial attorney for the city, Manny Aragon, is guilty of committing some strange and heinous activities. Because it is said that he cut a deal between the attorney's office, the city attorney's office, and some people that run some adult entertainment places. Now, the way I read it, and I've been trying to read everything I can get my hands on about this, the way I read it is that Manny Aragon is guilty of one thing and one thing only, and that is assuring that due process is carried out before anybody suffers for it. Now, it appears to me that if due process is provided for by the Constitution of the United States, by the Constitution of the State of New Mexico, by the city charter, and by any well-thinking or straight-thinking individual, then it should be carried out. Due process. If you have an appeal going, let's run the appeal before you have to suffer the consequences of committing a crime, if indeed you commit a crime, or breaking an ordinance, if indeed you did break an ordinance. To me, that's the only thing that is going on in City Hall right now. Now, I have been accused by various individuals of not having the ability to say anything against government due to certain things I involve myself with. That is not true. If I see, I'm the kind of guy that calls a spade, and what I see here is completely legal and above board. Now, if you got a comment about that, I'd like to hear from you. I really would. If you can change my mind or give me information that would make me change my mind, I'd like to hear it. 262-5400 is the telephone number. 262-5400. Hello, this is Ardie Patton. You're on KZIA. Talk to me.
Hello there, Mr. Pontoon.
Oh!
Senator here.
Yes, Senator. How are you, sir?
I am fine, and how's by you?
Well, let me see. Well, right by me, it looks pretty good.
Very good, son. I'm here to tell you that as far as that Argonne guy goes, he ain't no gas. He's just doing what the people ask him to do, following the law. Now, they want the law that settles down upon them and serves them right, but they don't want the people what they don't like to get the law to do the things for them.
Exactly, Senator, especially when the rhetoric now being bandied about is smut houses and porn again and all of that stuff. I mean, people are emotional about this stuff. I can understand that.
Well, now the government might be in a little bit more trouble because they may have to compensate those people if they do change their zoning laws.
10-4, that's what the Constitution, that's what the Supreme Court of the land ruled last week.
It certainly is, and as far as gets goes, I hope he gets it all free because the man is doing it right. And as far as bare arms go, I'd like some from Gina Lola Brigida, Sophia Loren maybe, and some Joan Collinses and Raquel Welches.
Yes, sir.
And I want to leave you with one more thought.
Please do.
Why blind men don't skydive. Scares the hell out of the dogs.
Two 262-5400. 262-5400. Thank you, Senator. I appreciate that. There's another vote for Bernard Goetz. By the way, I was on the Sandia Crest today, and I went to the place where the launch pad is for the hang gliders. Have you ever seen that? It's an interesting place. That drop off of there must be 300 feet straight down.
It takes a lot of nerve to jump off that.
I mean, first of all, I wouldn't want to jump off there with a parachute, but anything heavier than that, like a hang glider, negatory. Oh, no, I've never seen them jump off, but I've seen the crows jump off. Yeah. The crows get real close there, and they do the same thing that the hang gliders do. Spread the old wings, hop, and you're off. But anyway, that has nothing to do with anything else we're talking about. Skeets, why can't you keep us on the subject? 262-5400 is the telephone number. Hi, this is Ardie Patton. You're on KZIA.
Hi, Ardie. On the adult bookstore question, I think you're entirely right. That's all that agreement means, and in addition, we get to have the bookstores spruced up. I mean, they already look better than they ever have before, and have lived around here for quite a few years. If they had gone ahead and enforced it, and there wasn't the agreement, the bookstores would simply go to court, get a temporary restraining order, preliminary injunction.
Mm-hmm.
City would be spending more
when I learned that part of the agreement was that they were to spruce up, to tone down the signs and the garishness outside, I thought, well, good. At least we're getting some progress while appeals and all of these processes take place. At least we're getting something positive going as far as these places are concerned.
That's right, you know, and lots of people want to make it an issue of morality, but the ordinance is one of aesthetics and where things should be put in the city. And they said these things should be dispersed around.
That's right, and people are making it a moral issue, and, you know...
And Dinelli and all these people want to get these front-page headlines on this porn question is ridiculous. I mean, the city of Albuquerque is big enough that it can accommodate all kinds of interests. We don't need, people who question a perfectly sound decision by the city attorney's office trying to grab headlines to squawk.
Yeah, it seems like that's exactly what it is to me. I don't, even though Mr. Dinelli was sent a copy of the agreement by Mr. Aragon's office and agreed, or at least not agreed, but admitted to the fact that he had signed had recorded that he had received that memo, seems to me that Mr. Dinelli might want to get down a little bit off his high horse, off this this moral high horse that he's on. I mean, it's real popular to be against what he calls smut houses, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I
well,
mean,
let me tell you something.
Nobody wants them in their neighborhood. And,
yeah.
You know, to those people, you say, look, if the buildings look okay, you don't have to go in them. At least when you drive by, they look better than they used to. And it's not up to you or I or anyone to judge.
And that's a step in the right direction.
And that's, that's a separate question. But, you go to most cities and it's a lot more blighted than Albuquerque is.
Oh, boy. I can speak to that from first-hand experience, having lived in other places. And as far as the moral issue is concerned, I'm glad we have adult entertainment places.
There's a First Amendment question here. I mean...
I'm glad. I want them here. In fact, I want them to be clearly labeled. I want them to be guarded, cleaned, patrolled. I want everyone in Albuquerque to be able to drive by and say, that's one of those places. I want it that way. You know why? Because we can keep our eye on it that way, and we can keep it out in the open where it won't get sleazy and dirty and smutty and thereby get dangerous.
That's what the zoning issues are I think, address. But I think you're right on that, and let's let Mr. Dinelli develop a better practice in reading his mail or something.
Yeah, received loud and clear. Let me ask you this. I'm taking a Patton poll here. What about the decision about Getz? You for it or against it?
Well, I guess I can't really answer it that way. I think that it's good that... I think he should have been found guilty and then sentenced suspended. Because if you're looking at it from the objective of what you want to send, the message you want to send. Mm-hmm. But if you look at it as a straight trial of your peers, weighed upon the evidence, the jury clearly found that the state didn't prevail and didn't have the facts to prove the evidence. Mm-hmm. That's something that, I think the public debate is missing, but, which is fine. But on the broader issue about social policy, I think it was a wrong decision. And I do think that there was racism involved in that you don't have... if you would have had 4 young white guys from the suburbs come down in tennis shoes and a baseball bat and attack a black wino in the streets of Brooklyn, and the guy happens to have a knife and he cuts him up, ask yourself what result that would have.
I thank you for your call.
Yeah.
Okay, 262-5400. If you have well, actually, I have some time, and I will take your call. That's the first one that's not completely in favor of the treatment Mr. Getz got, at least in its entirety. So that's 2-1 in favor of the treatment Mr. Getz has gotten so far. 262-5400 is the telephone number. Hi, this is Ardie Patton. You're on KZIA.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Well, a clarification. Do you go by RD, the initials RD?
Well,
or is it Ardie with an A?
Well, it's Ardie. It's A-R-D-Y.
Oh, A-R-D-Y.
Yeah, but I say R-D so people don't call me R-T with a T.
I see.
Which
all right.
just grinds on my... It really burns my beak when people do that.
Okay.
I mean, it gives me a headache. It comes up in the back like this and comes together up here like 2 bull goats,
All right.
Is that it?
Oh, no, I had something I wanted to say.
Listen, I want you to wait a couple of minutes.
That's fine.
All right, put the phone down. Hang on for a second. We're going to go to the news, and we will continue with your call in just a moment. If you don't have a line in, grab one now, because Skeets is standing right by the phones. The number is 262-5400, 262-5400. The Patton program proceeds after you hear this.